Hello guys, and welcome to another brand new video. But in this video, we're going to be a little bit on the sadder side too, because one of PlayStation's most recently announced brand new hardware is, well, getting a lot of really bad negative feedback. And as you guys could probably go and tell from this day and age, when it comes to Xbox, when it comes to PlayStation, everything else, we've been a little bit on the sad side. Both Xbox and PlayStation have had a lot of really big negatives when it comes to those everything, when it comes to games, when it comes to flops of games, when it comes to people wanting more games, and now with even more hardware talk, a lot of folks are very, very disappointed in the brand new PlayStation handheld, and people are not happy. We also have some other cool gaming news too, after go talk about the main topic over here. So if you guys want to go and join me in being sad, being emo, and putting on some I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend, type music in the background over here, you guys can join us on how bad and how rough this is all going to be. So sit back, and all of you guys are having a fantastic weekend so far. If you guys are brand new, subscribe. If you guys are not, then hello. Check out the Twitch room. We'll be drinking and having some chill times pretty soon, so follow, put up the notifications there, and on the Twitter, and of course the Amazon links. So let's dive into the actual video itself. So very first and foremost, if you guys, for some odd reason, as I'm going to go and sit here in my ghostly manner, I think the bits, I don't know if the bit's worth it. I'm sure there's probably one person watching this video right now being like, what on earth is this guy? Like, what is wrong with him? Anyway, so anyway, when it comes to this one, if you guys do not know, Sony actually did go and announced a brand new handheld console, somewhat similar to another one that was kind of like based on remote play. You could essentially go use the handheld, and you can basically just go and play any game. Like, we kind of knew about this leak for a while. We covered this a little bit ago too as well. And as of right this second, the rumor is that it'll be coming out for November. Has 8 inches, it's a handheld console, it's designed as well to go and stream PlayStation 5 games over Wi-Fi, so basically having a chance to use the cloud, use remote play, and everything else in between, and it's kind of a cool idea, cool concept, cool idea. I'm sure most folks are like, yeah, if it was priced well, we'll check it out. But that's one of the bigger issues over here too, and that's why we're living our emo life right now, is that there's kind of big 3 major issues. Number 1, as of right this second, we're seeing some pretty big news that the fact that, well, it's not gonna maybe be the best. And now we're gonna talk about this one too, because number 1 is that it seems like the remote play basically battery is very, very low. Like, we're talking like extremely utterly low, and it's only popping off at around 4 hours of battery life. At least it's consistent though with the controller, like the actual DualSense controller itself. But as of right this second, a lot of folks are kind of expecting more. They want to have, I don't know, at least in my opinion, I want more. I expect more. I want more. At least when it comes to this. So here's the Project Q, first and foremost, is the new portable remote play device for the PlayStation, but right now, allegedly, it's only going to be having only 3 to 4 hours of battery life. Now, if you guys have ever played games, or you did your Switch, your phone, whatever, bro, if you're in a good game, especially like a game like a God of War, Spider-Man, or whatever it might be, especially if it goes in higher graphics, higher screen brightness, or whatever, maybe just forget to charge it, 3 hours is not a long time. Like, I mean, I stream on Twitch all the time. I'll consistently go put 5, 6, 7 hours of gaming just because, like, you know, it's quote unquote, like, I make money off of it, kind of like technically my job. But also part 2, like, I like games. I like playing games, and I'll sit there for more than 3 hours almost all the time. Now, granted, some folks do like hours, 2 hours or so, and then go do dinner, take a break, and charge stuff. It's not the biggest deal. But if you're spending a lot of money, a few hundreds of dollars, you want something a little bit nicer as well. So right now, they even kind of say in this article, 3 to 4 hours isn't an out-and-out disaster, especially considering the device is mostly intended to be used at home on a local Wi-Fi connection, because as I mentioned, it's basically based on like remote play and more on the cloud, so it's like, you're kind of probably not gonna be like on a train or usually vacationing or doing stuff too crazy with this, at least in my opinion, but it does seem very, very low. And people obviously are kind of seeing that feedback and discussing it, and they're not really happy with the idea of it at the end of the day. So it's worth noting that the unit also includes all of the haptic feedback though and adaptive trigger technology of the DualSense. So that, alongside with the OLED screen, is a little bit more of a weirder side. I'm not really sure because it's kind of just in the middle. I don't know. Like, for me, I don't mind having haptic feedback. I like the idea of haptic feedback. I like the idea of having a chance to hold this stuff and deal with this stuff. I think it's good. But once again, a 3-hour battery life, that's not good. Like, I don't like that. I mean, I don't mind a nice screen, but you want a nice battery life. I don't mind a good, like, you know, actual, like, vibrations on the controller, but you want to have a good battery life. And it's kind of on the middle. So that's kind of like, I think, the big critique, and a lot of folks who have had other different types of rival handhelds or consoles or Steam Decks or Switches definitely have been taking a big note when it comes to this. So, a lot of folks also do not know necessarily what this price point is going to be. Now, some of the ruined price points, and this is why we're still on the sad emo side over here, is that the games on there are going to be all regards to remote play. So you pretty much probably want to have a PlayStation 5 if you don't already. Like, you pretty much need the console to utilize it. So it's going to be expensive on that first off cost. Same thing with the PlayStation VR 2. If you do have the PlayStation VR 2, at that end, like, you need to have the PlayStation 5. It just makes sense. Now, part two of this is some folks are actually kind of a little bit on the sad side too, because like I said, price. If the price is at like $250, that might be a little bit more on too high of a price. But as well, if it goes $300, it's probably like the biggest instant no. And even kind of looking at the Pro Controller and other various sources, it might be a little bit on the higher side. Like, I don't think this is going to be a $100 flat console/handheld. I think even $200 seems somewhat relatively unlikely. And I think a lot of rumors and analysts, and this is not confirmed as of yet because it hasn't been announced on price point, has been around the $300 or $299.99 price point. Now, that as well is kind of expensive, and also the price point may also be a little bit of a conflicting factor, and that might be all why also Sony did not go and announce it on their most recent PlayStation showcase. So now with the brand new information that the battery life is a little bit mediocre, that the actually have to have it on purely on remote play, which kind of inhibits you to basically be inside and in person on your own home Wi-Fi. Maybe you can pull off 5G, I'm not really sure. It doesn't seem like that integration is there. It's not out yet, we don't know. And on top of that too, price point, PlayStation 5 prerequisites, it's not the world's worst idea. It still is more of a niche product, and I'm sure some folks, even some folks watching this video, would be okay dropping the money on it, splurging on it, and going with that, which I totally understand, I totally get. But for some folks, myself included, it makes me feel a lot more skeptical when it comes to Project Q and, well, the overall product itself. I think it seems cool. I think it looks nifty. This is one of those things where if I had it for free, I'd probably actually use it, but I would also not want to really go out of my way to go and drop all the additional money, and that's why we're sitting here with this black and white screen, because we're just living here on the sad boy life. So what can I go and say? So anyway, give me your thoughts and comments on that one down below. I'm kind of curious in this. And also to kind of wind down this video, I have a few other kind of little nifty and pieces of news too as well. Because besides the fact that everyone's been roasting on the brand new consoles we talked about over here, and just people just sad, unhappy, and they're saying like, hey, it's just leftover spare parts, and basically people saying like it's just whatever, you know, some people have been saying that in the first place. When it comes to things like Switches and, you know, all these extra, like, I don't know, like DualSense Pros, which is like extra stuff for the PlayStation 5 bundle consoles. They just kind of assume it's like extras, which is most fans don't want. Besides that being the big drama, we actually have some good gaming news over here. Number one is on some Marvel's Spider-Man 2. We'll actually be featuring 3 brand new Spidey skill trees, and as you guys probably saw from the same PlayStation showcase, that the game's looking good, people are excited, even normal folks are kind of memeing on the fact that they're like, hey, I'm gonna go start working some overtime, picking up some extra shifts at work to go buy myself a PlayStation 5 in general. So, kind of cool. So our heroes share tech and train together, so we included a shared skill tree that offers parallel upgrades for both. So kind of a cool thing for them to add up more in this game itself. So they have 3 separate skill trees, one each for Peter Parker and Miles Morales, and then third for shared abilities as you kind of progress through the game. And on top of that too, I like it because it kind of gives us more of an incentive to want to, like, I don't know, get more homegrown to each of the characters, because as you guys know, it's going to be a dual character game, but as well also maybe have a different sense of progression, have a little bit more of a character uniqueness as well. I think it seems kind of cool. So basically for this one, they revealed how upgrading Peter and Miles' skills will work in the upcoming sequel, and according to the developer, both characters will have their own separate skill trees for abilities, and they are exclusive to them as well. Between Peter's new symbiote abilities and Miles' newfound blue bioelectric powers, each Spider-Man has their own unique set of skills that can be upgraded via all new individual skill trees. Our heroes share technology and train together too, so we also included a shared skill tree that offers parallel upgrades for them both. So it's actually really kind of cool to go and see them kind of, number one, combining the 2 portions of the game. Like, I love seeing that. I love seeing the idea of that. And number 2, I think it's really nice to go and see that, well, they're just kind of doing a little bit something different. Like, it's still the same core game, but it's like a smaller and slightly different element that adds to the game itself, which I think is actually very, very cool to see. So I like that. I like that kind of vibe there too as well. And it does kind of make me sad because there was some rumors that it was going to be a secondary, like, multiplayer game, although it may have been hard to pull off, or maybe even co-op, like split screen, that apparently did not seem to be true as of the most recent leaks. Now as well, John Wick AAA game has been rumored around for quite some time, but John Wick, the AAA game in development with John Wick 5, has now been confirmed too as well. So just in case you guys are curious, there is going to be a AAA video game for John Wick probably kind of gives me a little bit of, like the name escapes me. It's Max Payne. There you go. I got it without all of you guys helping. Max Payne kind of vibes. And I think if they had a more realistic John Wick style game of the Max Payne style, just on current graphics and that same animation style, I think that game would be absolutely fantastic. I would really like it too as well. It is also going to seem like, do they want to go be making a John Wick 5, which, I mean, if the movies are making money, that's why we keep on seeing the Fast and Furious, it makes sense, and they can kind of go from there. So all around, also kind of a cool vibe. And as well, if you guys want to, there actually is a brand new Mortal Kombat 1 online stress test in case you guys want to go and sign up and check that out and join. So if you guys want to, follow up on Twitch. We'll be doing some drinking about an hour or so, a few hours or so. So just follow up and put on notifications. Same with Twitter too as well if you guys are bored. Subscribe if you guys are new. And on top of that, too, have the Amazon links and everything else. And I appreciate you guys all so much for watching. Give me your thoughts and comments down below.